It's Monday, June 29th. This is Scouting the League. Well, as we are into some dead time, not quite as much as usual to talk about. No supplemental draft, though. I did cover what would have happened last week. Make sure you head back, at least get my thoughts on Brendan Sorsby. What should he do this fall? Well, I've had some conversations with some different people. I've got my opinion. Maybe best just to sit this one out and enter that 2027 draft. But that is a conversation he'll have with some advisors, which I'm happy to become one of your advisors, Brendan. We will work through the process, work on some interview prep, all part of what I do at Right Step Advising. But head back, listen to that one last Monday, and we will get back on anything that pops up in the scouting world as we go. Of course, there's still a few scouts continuing to get some work done. Some dominoes from that Minnesota hiring Nolan Teasley as their new GM from Seattle. But in lieu of any of that, we're going to talk players today and tomorrow. Watch some film as we continue our slow march toward the 2027 NFL draft. Today, we look on the offensive side of the ball and get into the trenches with offensive tackle Blake Frazier of Michigan. Tomorrow, we kick back to the defensive side of the ball, talk Bray Hubbard of Alabama. Certainly two players you want to hear about. But if there's a third, somebody else you want to hear about, let me know. Head over to Twitter. Let me know at RightStepADV on there. Drop it in the notes, comments, head into the DMs. Let me know who you want to be hear about. I would be happy to talk about him, get that scouting report out there, let everybody not only hear about him, but see him with a little bit of film, which we'll do today. While you're out there on the line, check out rsafootball.com, my full website of everything that I do, my background, and more. While you're there, check out thescoutingcommunity.com if you are an aspiring scout and an NFL scout. Resources no matter where you're at in your scouting journey to help you in every way we can. That is what I want to do. Scouts don't have as much of a voice as they should. Let me on the outside take some arrows for you. Let's do some work together. Let's improve the landscape that is scouting and get the insoles that will upgrade every pair of shoes you have over at bluemaca.com. Use code scouting20 at checkout to let them know we sent you. Get a little discount on that order. They are the insoles that will improve every pair of shoes you have. Again, you don't just buy a car, leave everything stock. You want to upgrade it. Do the same with your shoes. Non-slip insoles, plantar fascia, arch support, or that turf toe support. Blue Maca has it for you. You can get that recovery insole. You can make every pair of shoes you feel better. BlueMaca.com is the spot for you. Make sure you use that code Scouting20. So, offensive lineman Blake Frazier, a true junior, did not play in 2024 and was an 8-game starter in 2025. Saw time in 13 games. A 4-star recruit. And a guy who you may ask, why look at this guy already? Where there's a couple reasons. Again, good scouts are going to know this player's coming up. Again, 8 starts. Yeah, he's going to kind of fall on the threshold of being, hey, is this a guy that should be on my list heading to this? Should be asking about him? Certainly, yes. Profile. He is 6'6". He's about 300 pounds. The school produces offensive linemen. Now the new head coach, Kyle Whittingham, produces offensive linemen. The fit in the NFL, he looks clean. He looks the profile. He has the traits. And if he ascends, he is going to be a guy we are hearing about day 1, day 2, come 2027 NFL draft. This is going to be a guy that NFL teams should be asking about when they head into Ann Arbor, head into Michigan. So what are we looking at? Like I said, 6'6", listed at 295, a little light, but fully expect that to be about 305, 310 come the season. I fully expect that has been a focus point for Blake Frazier and that Michigan strength and conditioning staff as they head through the offseason, everything like that. Get that film pulled up. I know that's what you want to see over my face. But again, you're talking about 577 offensive snaps in 2025. Became a starter about midway through the season where he performed well the rest of the way. Always tough with a mobile quarterback like Bryce Underwood, who can make things tougher blockers. Yeah, we're going to get some good traits across the board. We're looking at some third down snaps here. Again, get a nice mix here. But again, we're going to see the traits that we need to see. And again, it may just take a little bit longer because Bryce, he can make your life easier, can make life tougher. Again, you always have to be able to react and adapt. With offensive linemen, again, always want to hit those traits. What are we looking at? Well, we're going to look at initial quickness, run blocking, pass blocking, the position and how he plays it, his hand use and his feet. Of course, let's start with his work in the run game and his run blocking. Again, this guy is a scheme versatile guy. I think he's going to be on the board for all 32 teams. Forget run gap, gap scheme, zone scheme. I think he fits either. I think more naturally right now with his weight deficiencies, he's going to be more of a zone scheme blocker. But again, this guy has good initial quickness. He can overtake defenders, gap and a half. He takes good angles to the second level. He can get out and work in space with good balance, good body control. He certainly has some flexibility and fluidity in his gait to get out and move with that initial quickness to be able to match things. When you start talking about the run blocking, takes good initial angles. Again, there are some times where he gets a little bit over his toes, but you see the lower half, and I think that's where one of the spots where his leg strength is going to improve. His lower half is going to improve, which is going to allow him to be a more balanced and more in control player in the run game. I fully expect that to be improved this next year. But again, he can do it at a good level, which means it's only going to get better from there. Good foot quickness, good ability to match, good ability to find guys at the second level. And this guy can match, he can position. When you start talking about that gap scheme, run blocking, again, this guy is going to be more of a position blocker initially, though again, as you add that strength, he's got a little bit of nasty. Again, we'll talk about it when it comes to the weakness. I think there's a little more in there for him. There's a little more he can do. But again, this guy's going to be able to get the job done. He is going to be a quality blocker that you are not worried about run game, zone scheme, or gap scheme. As we get into the pass blocking now, again, this is where that mobile quarterback can make things difficult for you. Again, maybe you're going to be thinking a little bit more about reaching out, holding. You can really get guys on your edges. Those guys think about a pocket rush or think about, hey, rushing from different lanes to try to keep Bryce Underwood. Very good, very mobile quarterback in the pocket. But again, can make things tougher for scouts as you try to decide, all right, was this on him? Was it not a deep enough set? Were they trying to set something up? What were they doing? But again, has a good ability to get deep, has a good ability to match versus speed, plays with good pad level, good patience in his hands. I think that's where his good hand use has some very good flash in it. Again, that's where this guy, I really am comfortable. I think he's got good length, but again, with very good hands, good ability to continue to work those hands and reset, find ways to shut down blockers who are probably going to be a little bit longer at times and have a little bit more size than even now we're seeing at college level. He's got all those things that are going to allow him to win and be a consistent blocker at left offensive tackle. Because I think, again, this guy can play left or right. You stick him at left, and unless you really need him at right, again, this guy's going to be a left tackle in the NFL. So again, has a pass blocking, has sufficient to good level anchor. Again, another one of those spots where I think added weight gain, that lower half this offseason is going to get better. The anchor is only going to improve. Again, he's not getting knocked back. He gives up a little bit of ground. You want to see a little bit more stoutness, an initial shutdown of that anchor and that bull rush. But again, I certainly think he can do it. He can certainly survive, recover, and do good things there. As we continue through it, again, we talked about the hand use a little bit already. He has a good ability to reset the hands, shoot the hands, find his hands, and reset them, work them, use them to find guys to reset, punch inside. Good hand strength. This guy that when he gets his hands on, he does have the ability to shut some of these blockers down, especially more the undersized outside linebacker edge types as opposed to the big defensive ends, tackles that are going to kick out there. So I have no problem with this hand use. Only going to get better and allow him to really dominate at the point of attack. Again, his feet, good feet. He's not heavy-footed. He can be nimble. He can work inside, outside, has a good ability to sit down, work back to that inside right hip from that left tackle spot, shut down some rushers there. So again, you're talking about a player that has good traits. Again, when you start thinking about, all right, where do I ultimately put this guy, knowing that maybe he is still a question mark come 2027 NFL draft time. Again, I'm going to go over to my scouting board here. Again, I start putting my traits down, this beautiful board that Kyle Morgan created for me that we're going to continue to track our 2027 draft and beyond players in. Again, we talk about the strengths. We talk about that athleticism, the ability to get out and move, lightweight. Again, playtime. We need that full season. But again, this is a starter in the NFL that is an ascending player. Again, when I start thinking about players like this early in the season, summer work, I want to know about them. I'm going to put a big grade on them. I'm going to grow a second round grade. I'm going to hop back over here to our measurables, to our profile. Let's go ahead and put that top start. I think this guy's going to be a top start. This guy could certainly end up in that elite first round grade. Again, I'm just going to go top starter for now. I'm going to go ahead and hit save on that. Again, a couple of guys I've done recently, Trevor Gooseby, high upside to get a little more polished, a little more clean in some areas. I think that upside's better. I'm going to go ahead and slot Blake Frazier right between Gooseby and Trevor Locke of Iowa. Again, a couple of red grades here. I certainly think one, if two, maybe all three of these guys end up with those first round blue grades. But again, these are starters in the NFL that are doing good things, that are having good traits, that could certainly ascend. These guys will be guys talked about come first round, second round of 2027. Blake Frazier has a chance to be a little bit cleaner. Gooseby, higher level traits, which is why I'm going to keep him up above Blake Frazier at this point. Again, Blake Frazier, a little bit better athlete than Trevor Locke is. So again, I like Blake Frazier here. Let's put him in the second round. Let's check back in on him as he plays half to 3/4 of the season this fall at Michigan, see where everything's at, and we'll come back and update our board as we go. So that is where I have Blake Frazier at. But again, it always comes down, where do you think he should go? What do you think? Let me know in those comments on Twitter or YouTube. If you're watching there, let me know the round. Where do you think he should go? Tomorrow on defense, we hit Bray Hubbard. Head down to Tuscaloosa. Make sure you check out that one. Any player you want to hear, let me know. At RightStepADV on Twitter is the spot to do that, or drop them in the comments here on YouTube while you're there. Like, subscribe, hit all those buttons. Help us out. Do everything you can listening to this one. Let me know who you want to hear. And in the meantime, make sure you keep scouting.